A boundary doesn't mean I don't love you. A boundary means I love you and I love me. And I've been struggling setting the boundaries because I thought I would lose love. And the same goes to all the women who have been struggling setting these boundaries. So they over justify, over explain until they disappear inside their own life. So buckle up. We're gonna set these boundaries. Hey, love, welcome back to Born to Shine. This is the place where we unlearn all the ways the world taught us to dim, to shrink, and to doubt ourselves. So far, we have seen how being too nice is often a trauma response. We saw the difference between audacity and arrogance, between shrinking behind modesty and humility, and we have seen the guilt that starts to hit you when you finally start to rise. But this time, today, we're gonna go over boundaries, okay? So that you say no without writing an essay, without sending this long text paragraph. Let's dive in. The first thing I want to say is that there is a serious cultural misunderstanding about what a boundary is. When someone hears the word boundary, they feel like pushing people away, or they think about rejection, or they picture a wall, right? A wall says nobody gets in. A boundary says not everyone has access to everything all the time. Access to your time, access to your focus, to your energy, to your attention, to your money, to, all parts of your life, all parts of who you are. So that's the difference. A boundary is simply a decision about access. Energetically, the world access is pushing down, not pushing away as a boundary. Let's think about your home. Having a front door doesn't mean you're pushing people away or you're knocking people away. Having a front door means you're protecting what matters inside, right? And so the same goes with boundaries. It works exactly the same way. It teaches people how to come inside, to get in. It teaches people how to get closer to you. So setting a boundary is the most generous thing you can do, because the people who love you and who you love, they don't have to guess anymore. You offer them clarity. And let me tell you something. When you feel like you want to say no, but you keep it inside, there is resentment, right? And resentment leads you to a dysfunctional relationship. But if you've been clear about giving access, about setting the limits, about expressing respectfully your preferences, then you build an intimate relationship. And so you feel safer, because then the relationship becomes trustworthy. You feel safe expressing your needs, and then the relationship or even that person becomes reliable. And if unconsciously there is a voice inside your head that tells you setting a boundary makes you mean, I want to remind you that setting a boundary is a loving act for everyone in the relationship, including the other person who deserves to know what's true. If you still have this voice that tells you, if I set a boundary, I will lose people, well, this is not a lost love, okay? This is clarity. And you don't want to be around people with whom you're not genuinely you. A limit is not a withdrawal, okay? A limit is an invitation to the relationship you want to have. And I get it, honestly. You might be listening to this and say, yeah, whatever. I see you, especially the people who have been raised to be the saviors, the fixers, the helpers. You feel like you're betraying someone. You feel like it is selfish. So what happens is that your sense of worth got tangled up with your usefulness. Somewhere along the way, you have learned that being loved means being helpful and useful. You have learned that being a good girl, or a good daughter, a good friend, a good partner, a good employee was always related to how useful you are. And what happened is that when you think of setting a boundary, you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to become unlovable. And then you start to feel guilty. But that's just your conditioning, and you can change that. Saying no is a full sentence. Saying no is a full sentence like, I love Sundays is a sentence. Saying no is a full sentence like, I love coffee. Saying no is a full sentence like, I don't like this weather. It is exactly the same thing. You have the right to set limits. You have the right to have preferences. And let me tell you the fear that lies underneath all of this. If I set a boundary, then I will lose people. And let me be honest with you. You might. You might lose people. But you will lose people whose access depended on you having no limit. I will repeat that one because that sentence hits hard when you really think of it. You will lose people whose access depended on you having no limit. The people who love you don't disappear after you start asking for what you need. They will appreciate it. I mean, of course, they will get uncomfortable for a minute or so, but then they will readapt, they will adjust, they will appreciate the clarity. So the boundary here works like a filter. A boundary is a filter. It reveals the people who are there for you because they love you and the people who are there because they take from you. And while it might be so uncomfortable setting this boundary, that's the most generous gift you can give to yourself and to the people who want to know you. Because the relationship that survives a boundary, it's a real one. It's a strong one. Okay, so now let's get practical because you don't need only theory. I will give you some sentences you could use the next time you want to set a boundary but you feel like you can't. Just drop these sentences and practice on them until it feels natural for you to say no, okay? Sentence number 1. I can't, but thank you for thinking of me. It's not I can't because I had to drop the kids at school and then I had to come back home and the house was a mess and my parents came and the drama. No, don't do this. Okay, say I can't, but thank you for thinking of me. No long text message or essay or whatsoever. Just I can't, but thank you for thinking of me. The second sentence is that doesn't work for me. As simple as that. And it's not I can't because honestly sometimes I can't is debatable. Like people would say to you, but why you can't? But nobody can talk you out from that doesn't work for me. It's a closed door. Nobody can talk you out from it. It's a full sentence. Okay, so the third sentence is let me think of it and get back to you. And this sentence is for the people pleasers whose mouth says yes before their brain even catches up. Buy yourself some time. Say, let me think of it and then get back to you. Check in with your body and then process things and then come back. Okay, moving on to the fourth sentence. You say, I love you, but this is not something I can take on right now. And if only I knew this sentence before, or if I have practiced this sentence before, it would have saved me so much drama. I love you first, but I cannot take on this right now. This is not something I can take on right now. And this is for the people you love, but whose request is draining you. Okay, you don't have to choose between loving them or protecting yourself. You can do both in the same sentence. I love you, but this is not something I can take on right now. Remember that. All right, and now the fifth sentence, and this is the holy grail. Silence. As simple as it could be. Silence. You don't have to respond to someone who disrespects you. Okay? You don't have to answer an argument designed to wear you down. So let your silence speak for itself. And here's what I want you to get today. Once you start to set the boundaries, of course, some people will get confused, but that confusion is none of your problem. They will figure it out or they won't. Either way, their reaction is not something you have to take on. Your job is not to manage their reaction to your healing. The women I know who are the most magnetic, who are the most successful, lit up, and peaceful, they're not women who are too nice. They are the women who are too clear. Clear about what they say yes and no to. Clear about what they tolerate. Clear about the access they give. So here is something I want you to do this week. Set one boundary. I want you to set one boundary. Maybe it's saying that doesn't work for me. Maybe it's stepping back to something that drains you. Or maybe it's simply choosing yourself and not asking for permission. And then notice what happens in your body. Notice the discomfort. And most importantly, notice that the world doesn't fall apart. If this episode gave you something you needed, make sure to send it to someone who needs to hear this reminder. Follow Born to Shine wherever you're listening from and leave a review because this will help the show reach the women who are ready for it. And if you have a story about a boundary that changed your life, tell me more about it in comments. I would love to know because at the end of the day, the quality of your life will always be determined by what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you say yes or no to. So protect your peace, protect your light, and don't forget that you were always born to shine. See you in the next one.